on, everybody? It's Jeff Grammer with the ABQJournal. And let's see if I can fix this mic now, because I think I turned myself down. Can you hear me now?
No.
I think I muted myself. There we go. What's up, everybody? Let's see if I can get this working. We are in the pit. We are about 60 minutes ahead of tip-off for a first-place showdown in the Mountain West between Utah State Aggies and the UNM Lobos. Of course, San Diego State's awaiting the winner of this game to be tied for first place. And I'm joined by Coach Waterman. Coach, thank you for joining us, man.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks for having us. I know it's a little bit late for everybody tonight, but we need all the support we can get in the pit. Everybody watching at home.
This is an interesting one tonight because you guys have played everybody in the league. You have already started you played the two teams you only played once. You're already done with those. You've already played one team twice, and this is the first look you've had against a Utah State team that really, since the preseason, I think has been considered by most, certainly by the people who just look at analytics, as the best team in the league. What do you think about playing a team this good, this deep into the season for the first time?
I don't think it really phases us by any means. You have to play everybody. This is the schedule we were dealt. We play one game at a time. We prepare one game at a time. And if it didn't matter if we were playing San Diego State for the second time tonight, Utah State for the first time, or anybody else on our schedule, we're going to be prepared. And that's just the way we operate. You can't look too far ahead. You can't think about that. It's just for next game on your schedule. And our guys have spent the last 2 days getting prepared. I feel like we're in a really good spot. Two really good teams going at it tonight.
What is it about Utah State that makes them so good? They have some star players. They turn people over. Very efficient offense. I know those are all the real big top bullet points. How can you help explain to people that are about to watch this game why they're so good at all those things?
Yeah, so first of all, you have to give credit to Coach Calhoun. He's done a phenomenal job in his 2 years there, Youngstown State beforehand. So it's a testament to the program that he's built there. But it starts, first of all, they've got an older veteran roster. Secondly, offensively, they're really good in transition. And we have to do a great job tonight in getting back, stopping the ball, not allowing them to get 10, 12, 14 points in transition. Ultimately, they're going to get a couple, but we can't allow them to get the egregious ones. We need to get them in a 5-on-5 half-court game where our defense can dictate a lot of the action that we're going to see. And then rebounding. They are a big lineup, so we have to do a great job. Obviously, we're with a smaller team physically, so we're going to have to make sure we do a great job making physical blockouts, driving them out, getting the ball, and that we can get out and run and play our offensive game. So that's going to be a big part of it. Then on the flip side, defensively, they play a switching man matchup zone that can give teams a lot of problems. And we spent the last 2 days really getting prepared for that with how we're going to have to move, some slight adjustments to what we typically do. I think one thing is when you play teams like this, you don't want your guys to overthink. You want them just to go out there and play. And so we've made some small modifications within what we typically do, but our guys felt really comfortable in practice doing them. So I'm excited for us to go out there and attack tonight.
How similar are these two defenses?
They're similar but different. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does. I mean, I know they're different, but I also, if I'm just being oversimplified, I would say they run similar defenses in some matchup zone concepts and things like that. You guys turn teams over in some similar ways, I think. So what's different about it?
So I think for the big thing for them is they try to keep their 5-man at the basket. Our 5-man can be in a variety of coverages. Theirs can as well, but ultimately they want their 5-man at the rim, guarding the rim, and we can have Tomislav, JT out on the perimeter or moving around guarding their man. So I think that's probably the biggest difference.
What about offensively? What do they do offensively that makes them so efficient? If you look at just Ken Palm, which is a good starting point for a lot of people, if you just look at their efficiency, they're ways ahead of second place. I mean, it's not just first and then second. It's first and then second, a ways down. Why are they so efficient offensively?
They run a lot of sets. they get, if they're not in transition, they run a lot of sets, and they get the ball in the right guy's hands, doing what they do really well. So Falstaff does a really good job getting to his right hand, and they have 3 or 4 different sets where they're going to get him isolated, where he can get to his right hand and finish, which is his strength, and if not, defense collapse, he's able to make plays to guys that are complementary pieces around him. And then when you've got big guys like Keller and Templin, Clark, they can go get the ball, finish around the rim. So that increases their efficiency as well.
I was going to say Gary Clark, when they got him in the offseason coming from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, I believe,
yeah.
I thought he was going to be a beast in this league. I thought he was going to be even better. He's really good. But Carson Templin and Gary Clark are 2 start-worthy forwards who are coming off the bench for them. I don't know if that's – I think either one of them probably could be starting because I think they start a guy that doesn't play big minutes.
Yeah.
But have you seen a team with 2 bigs like that coming off the bench that are that quality? Not many, right?
Not many, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And again, you said it. I think Keller starts, but it may be more of an honorary start type thing because he can play anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, which leaves 25 to 35 minutes for those other 2 guys to come in. And they will play together, put Templin at the 4 a little bit. So, that's going to be critical on our matchups defensively to make sure we can match their physicality. And if the ball goes into the post, how we rotate around it when we bring our double.
You have something to fall back on in this topic that I wrote about today too, in that I asked Eric and I asked Eric Calhoun both about there's some similarities in their 2 programs right now, right? We got, first of all, 2 Mountain West teams playing for first place, so success is one similarity this year. But there's some similarities in, I think you guys are both efficient offensively when things are going well. You guys are both playing, like what we talked about earlier, some similar defensive styles. And I asked Eric and Jared both how much of that is born from kind of being able to figure things out at the D2 level and not being in this environment and having people asking you questions afterwards. And both of them said that they really blossomed in their time not being a D1. There are some career paths go different ways for everybody. I get that. But sometimes just being an assistant on a D1 bench isn't always the way to go. Sometimes you want to be a head coach at a D2 level to cut your teeth like both of them did, like you did as a head coach as well. Did you find the same creative flexibility that Eric talked about? He said he was able to make mistakes and not have somebody ask him about it all the time. And he kind of learned that way what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Without question. And being in a seat like Eric was and now being an assistant coach for him, there's definitely something to being able to run your own program and then being able to, like for me, step away and see someone else do it. But the mistakes that and opportunities that you can learn from as a head coach at that level are like really changing for your career. And not so much that there's no pressure and no one cares because the greater world doesn't care. But just like you have the opportunity to build a program the way you want, see what works and doesn't work, and you don't have the onus on you every day of having to win, having to go to the NCAA tournament, have 14,000 fans cheering, booing everything you do. And at that level, there's so many good coaches. You have to be able to adapt, and when you get to this next type of level, you've already got that in hand. And I think there's really something to be said for those opportunities at the lower level.
I wonder if Eric Owen doesn't have the success he has at UC San Diego when it was the D2 and transition to D1. Without that success and like him realizing, I'm pretty good at this. I think I kind of found my groove a little bit. If he rides out, these 14,000 fans weren't the happiest when they see a box score from a preseason exhibition against Washington State when there's like 53 pointers and you guys lose that game and they're like, are you kidding me? This team's just going to shoot threes and look how many this guy missed and that guy missed. For him to have the confidence saying, no, I mean, I know what I want to do. It's not that, but like I'm fine with it. You probably don't have that confidence if you're a first-time D1 coach that's probably never been a head coach before, first of all. he had to have some confidence in what he was doing, and he got that at the T2 level.
Yeah, and that's definitely the case when you build a system and you've seen it work and you know what you want. And then secondly, I think the thing we haven't talked about here is there's 14 new guys on October 25th when we played Washington State. Yes, we've been practicing since June, but being out in the spotlight for the first time, that changes things. It's different. Yeah. I think if you had asked us after that game, were we disappointed? Like, yes, we were, but it wasn't like, trust me, I've been felt a lot worse after exhibition games in my career.
I told my editor that night, I was just talking to him on the phone when I sent my story from there, and I was telling him, I was like, it's weird, man, like Mexico was better than them. Like, yeah. I thought you guys were the better team, and you guys just lost the game. Clearly, it wasn't like a fluky loss.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but they're better.
Yeah.
And it was a weird kind of feeling that night, but it wasn't on TV. It wasn't even on radio back here, I don't think. It might have been, but with their radio guy. Anyway, nobody really got to see it, so they're just looking at stats, looking at my tweets, tweet out the stats, and they're like, wow, this is going to be a long year. And I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
I know what they're doing.
Yeah. No, we definitely did it. Like that game, I know. I can't remember what the exact stat line was, but we missed like 33s, and
yeah,
like we knew that wasn't going to be the case all year. And like you sometimes walk out of games and just we had the right shot, it just didn't fall. And like a testament to Washington State 6 months ago, whatever it is now, they'd already played a game ahead of us.
Yeah,
and that's a big difference in that time of year. Having a Division I scrimmage under your belt already, us playing for the first time on the road, it's just a lot of new things. And credit to our guys, they buy in every single day. They work really hard. They come in for extra work at night, extra film. So like, this is all, we've seen this coming. I think it's probably even ahead of where everybody expected it to be, which is great. But we still have a lot left. And I think Coach talked about it in our pregame film session this morning. He said, we've worked hard to earn this opportunity to be playing for first place on your home court against another first place team. And we have to go out and embrace it and take it. And that's really exciting for this program. And it's just a testament to the coaching staff and most importantly the players for their hard work and buy into what Coach Olin brings every single day.
I got a question for you coming up, but one quick one. After that Washington State game, had you been asked then if you guys were worried, like you kind of already addressed, like we knew we weren't like that. That was the first game with the first new roster, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you guys probably had more confidence than fans who just saw stat sheet. But had I told you that night that you'd be playing February 4th for first place in the Mountain West, would you have believed it then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would have been a little bit further of a grasp, but wouldn't say it would be out of the question. Okay. If you had said our record was 19-4 or 18-4, whatever we are, then maybe I would have said, I would definitely have taken that in a heartbeat. Yeah. I think that when you go to VCU, the Mississippi State game, like those were games that you probably look at, the general fan goes, ooh, those would probably be tough ones. Yeah. Tough ones to get. And again, like we have a close-knit team, and that's another thing that people on the outside don't realize is like when you've got guys like Luke Hobbs and Chris Howell that really bring everyone together and connect, not just on the court but off the court, it's game-changing. And when you have a selfless team, the sky's a possibility.
Steve Singletary is in on YouTube saying, what is one thing that he has learned from Poland that you didn't already know? Is there one thing that have you learned anything?
I've learned, when people ask me kind of a similar question, and there's a lot of things, like if I were to become a head coach tomorrow, that I would take that Coach Olin does a great job with, from drills to how we structure the day before practice to some of the film work that he does. But on the flip side, like I tell people, I'm learning, but it also validates what I did. Because sometimes as a head coach, like you're sitting there and you go, did I make the right decision? And you have your mind, that's it. And you have to soak that in. Now seeing somebody else do things and you're like, I was on the right track.
I was doing that.
Yeah.
I did that.
It makes sense.
Maybe it didn't always work, but I was doing that.
Yeah, I was on the right track to something. So
I think there's something to be said too. The question earlier about what Eric and Jared, these two guys who are, and really, look, they're really prominent coaches in the college basketball world. They're well known, and they both came from similar backgrounds at that D2 level, right? So I think what they do too really well is their staff around them isn't just always to make sure to get a really well-known local guy and a program guy. Like he trusts all you guys. He knows you well. He believes you guys all add something, and he leans on that. I think Calhoun has some of those guys too. Some guys that have been with him a long time, and you do something well, he lets you do it.
Yes, he does. He gives us a lot of freedom, and like the program is a well-oiled machine. Like he gets involved when he has to, but also he doesn't have to tell us what to do. Like it's done. And we each know our roles, responsibilities. He essentially lets us be the head coach of different areas.
Yeah.
And then he oversees and we run everything by him. And he gives us the final okay.
People go into a practice, I would think sometimes, they probably know he's the head coach because the head coach is the guy. Sometimes he's off by himself and just kind of watching. And he does some of that, I know. But like at practice, I know he can yell. And he does more yelling in the game than he does at practice a lot of times. It seems like he kind of lets you guys, like in practice, here's what we're trying to accomplish, and you get it done.
Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah.
It's just work.
And I think it's, being a head coach, I think it's a really effective strategy because when he yells, it gets the guys' attention. Like, we're not doing something right. And it shocks their behavior to get back to doing what needs to be done. And his temperament is great with our team for how he handles things, and that's who he is. He's not by any means pulling strings or anything. Who he is who he is. You get a great guy off the court. He brings it on the court, but his passion for the game and what we're trying to do is evident by when we don't do things right. But when we're doing things right, he's right there with us in a positive manner.
All right, Richie, what up? I'm guessing you're at work, Richie. You're usually at work when I'm doing these shows, even though it's late. I don't know, maybe you weren't. So if you're at work, enjoy it. Get this number one spot. I'll pass the word along to the team for you. Jeff, I'm right behind you. Don't hide. Looks like we got somebody back here. Somebody back there. Okay, I'll skip that one. I can taste a stronger Lobo. Hold on a second. My microphone just went. John Romero's in on YouTube. I can taste a stronger Lobo first place in the Mountain West for the present with the victory tonight. A lot is on the line. Captain Obvious. That's right. It is a huge game.
Yeah.
Tell me something about. You're talking about the chemistry on this team. Before the season even started, Dayton Alberg tells me Jake Hall's going to win Freshman of the Year. I didn't believe him. I wasn't buying stock then on Jake Hall. I should have been. It's been fantastic. But I'm curious, when you have 14 new guys, how much easier it might have made it for a freshman to come in and put up 10, 15 shots a night sometimes. Uriah Tenet comes in as a true traditional freshman and gets big minutes and plays a big role. Thomas Hobbs, a freshman, but a non-traditional one. People probably respected him from day one. But the freshmen seem to have respect from the start. I'm curious if that's because everybody was new or they just won their teammates over because they can play.
So they've won their teammates over, and don't get me wrong, they can play, and that's obvious. But talk about two guys that have zero ego. I've been around. I've coached this is my 24th year, and I've seen guys walk in with a chip on their shoulder, and they make it known like they are the man. That is not the case with those guys at all. They come in every day, work just as hard as anybody, get extra work in. There's no extra to them. They're both really quiet kids. If anything, I wish it would be more exuberant. Yeah, but they just come every day and they do what they do, and it's great to see. And like I said, I've coached guys that have egos the size of a pit, and it's obvious, and that's what breaks teams. And we don't have any of that on this team at all.
I just stole Stu Singletary's question, but how surprised are you with the maturity of the freshmen? Just kind of addressed it there.
Yeah.
JG Golf is in. Oops. We needed the coaches in pajamas Pajamas? Did you guys talk about wearing pajamas?
That was not in the cards for tonight. I think all of us are just trying to stay away.
I'm sure you guys are just happy you're not wearing those throwbacks. Those throwbacks
were hot.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
They were really hot, and I'm not a big sweater during the game, but man, when I took that thing off my shredder, it was drenched.
Eric was saying it was like one of those like wrestling kind of like loose weight kind of shirts. Like it was just like an oven in there for you guys by the end of the game. Yeah, Richie, you are at work. Sadly, I'll be watching and screaming for these guys when I leave. Richie, do you ever yell at work? Like, are you ever listening to the game at work and just start yelling somebody down like the aisle? Richie works at Walmart, and I don't know if there's someone in the store that just hears this guy yelling every now and then. I hope you don't get in trouble, but looks like we got the light on my camera on, and it shouldn't be there. All right, so those are all the questions. Big one tonight, obviously. I'm going to let you go with this one. I asked Eric, I asked Jared both this one thing. What is Mason Falstead best at?
Ooh. Getting to his right hand, getting downhill, and making plays in the paint.
That's the most specific answer that I got, because from Eric, you know what Eric said? Basketball. And said he just does everything. And I said, well, I know, but that's why I'm asking you. Like, what's the one thing? Because he does it so much. Jared Calhoun said, he's a competitor. And I'm like, no, I want to know what he does best. You said get to his right hand. I like it. I'll take it. It's specific.
Perfect. That's why you have me on the show.
That's why you're here.
In-depth analysis.
Mason's a pretty damn good player.
He is, I don't know his full background. I know
football background.
No, I
mean
2
years.
Yeah,
he's a mature third-year guy.
Yeah, and he's been there. Just a really good player, and whatever accolades he gets at the end of the year, he'll be very well deserved. And we have a strong respect for him. We spent a lot of time talking about him in our scout. We're gonna have to do a great job on him. Can't let him get loose. But with that, they have 4 other guys on the court too, and some other really good players that come off the bench. We're gonna have to do
really good freshmen too.
Yeah.
I mean, Elijah Perryman and Aiden Elamine. Anyway, those 2 freshmen are great. Mason seems to me, I see some similarities to a Chris Howell and a Luke Hop, that he could be that role if that was what was asked of him. He could be that kind of connector role if he wants. Yeah. It's not exactly what he does for them, because some nights he's the Jay Call of their team. Some nights he's doing all kinds of different stuff. He's a good rebounder too. Yeah. But I see some similarities. He could be that Luke Hop, Chris Howell for you guys if that's what was asked of him, couldn't he?
Yeah, no question.
All right, man.
All right, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Good luck tonight, man.
Thanks.
It's a good one. Big one Saturday, too, though. Thank Coach Waterman for joining us, as always. And it is a big one tonight in the pit. I will now give Sean Ryder's favorite part of the show, the Grammar Vision manual turning of the webcam. There we go. We got some Lobos warming up over there. I will give Will Weber a little bit of his space over there. And I will now do this. Hey, not so much me. All right, what else we got here? Hey, Jeff, tell Olin that I said hello and good luck from to our guys tonight. I'll let him know, but I don't think I'm going to see him before the game. I'll let him know. Richie's saying Olin is Belichick at the podium. The right question will get him talking, I bet. I told Eric Saturday night in San Jose before we started recording. I was like, all right, man, I'm going to try not to annoy you. All these guys on the YouTube comments are telling me how much I annoy you in all the pressers. And he's like, no, man, that might just be my personality. And I said, no, I think it might be my personality. I might be the guy doing it. And it was funny, though. It's Eric is, as he said in my story today, he cut his coaching teeth and did a lot of his blossoming and growing as a head coach out of the spotlight. He didn't have to be asked questions about what he's doing and why, and hey, why didn't that work, and what were you thinking there? He didn't have to answer those questions. He got to learn what works and what doesn't without the scrutiny, the high level scrutiny that comes at the D1 coaching level. He got to do that at the D2 level. Even when he transitioned into D1, UC San Diego was not the the main story in town. It was the San Diego State Aztecs and probably even the University of San Diego after that. So this is the first time that he has had to answer questions about his program and all that. And frankly, there's not a lot of questions about his program because I'll tell you what, man, there is a reason coaches around this country shoot me a text and shoot me messages and ask me when they see me in other cities, like, how long is he going to be there? How fun is it covering him? What's going on? They love him. Eric Owen is a hit at coaching clinics. Other coaches love what he is doing right now. The way he is managing this team and this program right now is a hit among college coaches around the country, and agents know that, and schools know that. And got to enjoy it, man. It's time. If you're a Lobo fan, you got to enjoy it. John Romero's back in on YouTube. The pit will definitely be rocking tonight. Put on your seatbelts. We got a Go UNM Lobos. We had that one earlier. Sorry about that. Got another one. Come on, Lobos. Good win. Yep, we had those ones earlier. Chad is in. I really enjoy your press conferences with Coach O. I'm sure you must be the only one. I'm kidding, Chad. I know some people enjoy them because they get more views. A Lobo press conference will get more views, or a Lobo post-game video that I have, just me talking to a player or a coach, will get more views on our YouTube channel than anything we post. Anything short of like a John Jones arrest video or something like that. All right, guys, so we are 32 minutes, 49 seconds away from tip-off in the pit. FS1 is where you can watch this game tonight. 770 KKOB AM, known as the 96.3 FM, where you can listen to the great Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green do the call. You can follow along on social media for some updates that I will be giving. There's nobody warming up over there. Let me give you some Utah State warm-up going on in front of us here. And, of course, ABQJournal.com. After the game is where my game story will be. Tomorrow morning, there'll be an Emptying the Notebook posted early in the morning with some follow-up analysis, stats, trends, videos, all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to do a quick look here. I am looking at, let's see, VegasInsider.com has the line right now as, well, it is shifted. New Mexico was favored by 2.5 this afternoon. It is down to 1.5 at a lot of places. It is a pick'em in some places. At the MGM Grand right now, UNM is getting 1.5. So I do think that the Grammar's guesses, once I once I get off the show here, I'm going to have to post the Grammar's guesses. I will do the latest updated line. I guess I'll go with MGM's the line I often go with, but I wasn't planning on going with UNM getting points tonight. Line's moving. People are putting their money on Utah State tonight. Interesting. I thought the pit would carry a little more weight and carry that line into tip-off at about a Lobos by 1 to 2 range, a 1.5 to 2 point range, but looks like it's going the other direction. A little surprising to me. What other comments we got here? Looks like we are updated on all the comments. I am on X looking right now. Don't see anything new. Injury-wise, looks like we're good to go. We got Ernie in on X. Is it Mountain West or TV networks that choose to put the best games this late? Is the television networks? TV networks pay to fill their time slots and fill their inventory, and they have an open time slot. If they're giving you money, they get to pick the time slot. So it is the television network, FS1 in this case, that chose to make this game 9 p.m. There'll be a lot more of that coming in the new TV deal as well. So time slots have not been doled out for Pac-12 in their media rights deal and the Mountain West and its media rights deal. Pac-12 will be getting more money than the Mountain West, but it's essentially the same networks. It is CBS Sports, you got Fox Sports, you got the CW, you got a new pay to watch subscription-based app that the Mountain West is going to have for all their sports, and we'll see how that works, right? So what a lot of conferences around the country already have, and the Mountain West is going to give it a try. You see the tall man in the middle of your screen there at the bottom. It's Dickie Simpkins. He will be on the analyst duties tonight for FS1. The former Chicago Bull, teammate of Luke Longley, teammate of Randy Brown, former Aggie. He was on some of those champion Chicago Bulls teams, and there you go. Aggie 54 coming in from Logan. I don't know if you're coming in from Logan, but I do know you're a Utah State fan. What is the team's free throw percentage for each? That might be a deciding factor. Aggies struggled for San Diego State at the stripe. I will pull that up right now, and I will tell you exactly. We are looking at a free throw percentage for the Utah State Aggies of 70.3%, ranks 249th in the country out of 365 Division I teams. Utah State is only 70.3%. The UNM Lobos are shooting 75.1. That's 85th in the country. If you go to conference only, though, the Lobos have been struggling a little bit more. They're only at 72.9. So in conference play, meaning the games more lately, they've been struggling, haven't been hitting as many. And there we go. That is your update on the free throw. The free throw defense, on the other hand, Utah State has been letting teams hit a lot of free throws. 76.3 is what other teams are hitting on Utah State. Of course, there is no such thing as free throw defense, just for anybody who doesn't know that. But it was a big topic around these parts last year because Richard Pitino's Lobos had the #1 ranked free throw defense in the entire country at one point last year. Teams would come in here and just miss all their free throws, which certainly benefited the Lobos quite a bit. Joshua Clark is in. How about defensive efficiency? Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the Mountain West. So right now, in conference play, #1 in offensive efficiency is Utah State. New Mexico is #2 in defensive efficiency. #3 in offensive efficiency, while Utah State is #4 in offensive or defensive efficiency, rather. If you add them all up, these are two teams that are ranked 5. 1 and 4 for Utah State, 1 in offense, 4 in defense in Mountain West play, 2 in offense, 3 in defense for the Lobos. Oddly enough, I would say these are the two most well-rounded teams. I would say San Diego State, although their defensive numbers are good, like they're trying to score so much more this year. Like, I don't know, they just still a great defense. San Diego State's still the #1 efficiency in defense. I don't know, man. They haven't seemed to really click entirely on defense yet. They sure ugly up games though, just like they did in some of their great defensive years. So maybe they're just fine now. They are dealing with a lot of injuries in San Diego State too, and that is worth pointing out. Great game the other day in Logan, by the way, between San Diego State and Utah State. TL Timo is on X. On my way to the pit, just got on, so I have to ask, who do you have covering tonight at UNM 1.5? I'm going to go with the Lobos. I'll take the pit and the Lobos by about, by a bucket at the end, 2, 3, 4 points, something like that. I don't think it'll be a big win, margin of victory wise, but I think the Lobos will hold serve. Not surprised in the slightest whatsoever if they aren't able to, though. This is a fantastic Utah State team, clearly. And the Lobos, frankly, streaks don't last forever. And the fact that they're #4 in the country and home winning streak right now, one of these games are going to have a hiccup in this place. And if you do that against Utah State, you're losing. They had a hiccup against Alabama State earlier this year and ended up winning because Alabama State's that bad. You do that here in the pit against Utah State, you're losing. Mike is in. Free throw defense clearly should be the tiebreaker. I think that's right. John V is in on YouTube. Don't those fold-out chairs have a weight limit? I believe that is a weight comment on me being a fat guy, and if they did have a weight limit, they probably would have broken by now, John. But I do appreciate you once again showing up and giving me some engagement and some love here on YouTube. I know it's hard. It's hard to ignore me. It's hard to ignore me, John. I'm glad you're here, Johnny. All right, guys, 26 minutes. I am signing off now. We are at 1.5. I will put the Grammar's Guesses picks on. I'm going to hit refresh one last time, see what the MGM Grand line is. MGM Grand has this line as the UNM Lobos getting 1.5 points. Utah State is favored by 1.5 right now. So there we go. I guess that's what I'm going with. I don't know. I might just call it a pick 'em. Maybe I'll just call it a pick 'em. Just pick the winner, and that's about it. So there we go. Oh, got a couple more. Imagine next February we'll be able to get a double-double after the game. I'm telling you, man. In and out, can't get here quick enough. I'm going to put some chili on that too here. Woo. Thank you for helping out. Subscribe. I appreciate that. Don't worry about the hate comments. Love your work. Oh, I love the hate comments. The hate fuels me. Let's go Lobos. Here's hoping Cobra Kai gets posterized in the pit tonight. Cobra Kai had a fantastic game against San Diego State. Cobra Kai being Templin. Sorry, Carson Templin. You can see him. Cobra Kai is all you need to know, Johnny. And Carson Templin's a fantastic big off the bench for the Aggies. All right, guys. Oh, wait, one more. Will Utah State be brave enough to come to the pit this year? I imagine you mean down the road next year or after this year. I'm sorry, you said after this year. I just can't read. I don't know, man. Jared Calhoun loves Eric Olin. Jared and I talked briefly before the game. Props to him for coming, chatting with me. Opposing coach doesn't usually come down into the pit and chat it up with an opposing reporter like Jared Calhoun did. So much appreciation to Jared for doing that. But one of the things he talked about, just how much he and Eric he has so much respect for what Eric Olin's doing right now. And I would say the respect factor might open the door for a home and home between these two programs moving forward. But I don't know that for sure. I do know Ali Faroukmanish from Colorado State said he would do it. Leon Rice, who comes here Saturday, kind of said he would. But I'm not as optimistic that Boise State and New Mexico will have a home and home in the future. But I will try and find out and nail down Jared Calhoun and Eric Olin to see what their thoughts on the future home and home are. Carl's in. Jeff, you don't get enough love for what you do. Keep up the good work, Carl. I appreciate that. I'm going to frame that one. I'm going to send that to my boss and say, this is what Carl said. Time for a raise. All right, guys. Appreciate it. 22 minutes. 770 KKOB, 96.3 FM's where you can listen to it. If you're in town around New Mexico, you can listen to it on the radio, or you can watch it on FS1. I am guessing it's safe to say if it's 8:40 now and the clock's still telling me 22 minutes, I'm guessing we're at least at 8:10. They have not told me yet if it's an 8:15 start, but it'll probably be an 8:10 or 8:15 start. It usually is when it's a 9 o'clock game because they slide it back by that point of the day. So thank you guys for being here. ABQJournal.com. We'll have game story later tonight, have post-game video, and we'll have Emptying the Notebook tomorrow morning, 7 or 8 o'clock, somewhere in that range tomorrow morning posted online. Thanks, guys.